Welcome to the Fit Mama podcast, where it's all about gaining your health back as a busy woman and mom, and doing it without sacrificing time with your family or business. Here is your host, mompreneur and Fit Mama health coach, Angela Campbell.
Here goes, you guys. Today's podcast, I'm so super stoked and excited for. I'm always excited for our podcast, but I'm even more so excited today for a lot of reasons. I even have my pen and paper that I'm going to be taking some really awesome notes today. You guys were talking about Hashimoto's, hyperthyroidism, all the stuff. You know, I spend my days helping women on a regular basis with their health journeys, getting healthier and losing weight and doing all the things. And Hashimoto's is something that a lot struggle with. And the more and more I hear about this, it's even more dear to my heart to learn from you, learn from Melissa. You guys is our guest today. She's going to share it all. But we're going to find out a little bit. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what really is Hashimoto's. I know a lot of people know it now because they have it, okay? And then a lot are not really sure exactly what it is. We're also going to hear from Melissa, her story, her expertise, over 20 years in experience. She works with doctors, and I will let her do the magic and share more of that. But she also has it herself, and I feel like that's so powerful. So she's learned through her own journey with Hashimoto's. And then at the same time, she's going to share some tricks, answer some questions. A lot of you women inside our Fit Mompreneur group had a lot of questions around this topic. So we're going to get them answered for you today to the best of our knowledge. So, if you're watching live right now, say hi, say hello to Melissa, let her know. If you have more questions as well, please drop them and I will be keeping an eye on them and we can ask them. But at the same time as well, too, if you're in the group and you find yourself like many women that I talk to on a regular basis that are struggling, we're going to share how you can get a hold of Melissa as well, because she does a different style of coaching. So there's something for everyone, and I want you to know that. But if you're struggling and you need to help with the fitness and nutrition and the things, if you're watching live stream, there's a link above. Set up a time, 30-minute free call. You and I, let's just figuring out the path that works best for you, right? If you are catching this later on a replay, you can find me on the website, www.acfitmama.com/chat, to set up a call or join our group. If you're not in the group yet, definitely join our group and get in there and watch. So, I'm super excited. Hashimoto's, the number one burning question so many have lately. Before we dive in, though, I do want to give some shout outs, and then I'm going to turn it to Melissa to share her magic, her expertise, her experience, her journey. But, in the Fit Mama coaching, I love giving shout outs because there's some really amazing women that are going through life not happy with themselves, but they are making a commitment. The first shout out is 2 new women that are just making the commitment. They just signed up. They're getting ready. They're getting started. They realized, you know what? I need help. I need somebody to coach me, teach me, tell me what to do, when to do it, and all this stuff. So I want to first say a welcome to Lena Mead and Michelle Smith. Just getting started. Just literally, Michelle just signed up this morning, and I'm super stoked. So if you guys know them, give them a shout out. If you don't, say welcome in the comments, or if you're watching the live stream, so that they know that they're not just loved on by me, but our entire army of women that have gathered together in this group. And then also, I want to give a shout out to Jennifer Murray, because she's an amazing woman and mom and doing all the things when she's been avoiding the scale, and we finally jumped on the scale. 15 pounds down, this woman. I'm super, super proud of you, Jennifer. So give her a shout out and some love. And then the other few shout outs that I definitely wanted to bring up was as Atifa. Atifa is a mom that's just amazing woman, and also a coach doing amazing things for other people. But like a lot of us realized, you know what, I might need some help too. So she's down 4 pounds. Rusty Fulton, this woman worked 70 hours last week in her job.
My God.
I was like, wow. And she spends her days taking care of others and running around her 2 very active kids. And she's down 8 pounds. And so major kudos to you ladies. You guys, we're just getting started. So the journey is underway, and I'm super excited for those ladies. So give them a shout out, give them some love. And let's get into the nitty gritty, what everybody wants to talk about today, Hashimoto's. Let's talk about it. So first, Melissa, if you're ready, I would love for you just to start and share with everybody that's listening to this either now or later, where are you at your journey? Maybe who are you, what you do, what you were sharing with me before we hopped on, and I'll give it to you from there.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Angela, for having me here. You guys, I am super nervous. I always get really nervous coming live. It is not my gig. This is Angela's gig. She's so good at it. But so I'm going to do the best I can, but bear with me if I have to take a drink of water. And I always make this little comment. I do have a little doggy that works with me. She's sitting next to me and occasionally she does bark. So I apologize if that does happen, but that is just kind of my thing. She's my little animal assisted therapy girl. So she's amazing, but she does get barky sometimes. So I apologize ahead of time if that happens. But again, thank you. Oh my God, I am so excited to talk about this topic because there are so many women that have it and we struggle. It is such a struggle. And I'm super passionate about talking about it. One, because I think Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or, hypothyroidism, basically, I think it's very misunderstood and people are confused by it. And there is no straight line to a diagnosis for it. And it's usually years of struggle and years of tears and years of depression and years of hair falling out and nobody listening. And so it's a very misunderstood diagnosis. And when you are diagnosed with it, it's almost that thing of like it's a relief. You're diagnosed with something, right? But then nobody knows what to do from there. So so I'm super passionate about talking about it. And just to give a little background about me, because nobody knows me, so they're gonna be like, why in the world would we want to listen to this girl? One, I was diagnosed myself at age 27. I just turned 50 this year in the midst of COVID. So I won't allow myself to be 50 yet because I didn't get to have a party. So I said I get a free year of 49 and I'm sticking with that. So there's that. But so yeah, so I've had this, I was diagnosed at 27. But my background, my professional background is I was actually a clinical researcher for over 20 years. So I studied new medications that were trying to come to market and did clinical trials. I owned my own office for over 10 years, worked with a lot of doctors, did a lot of studies. And here's a fun little tip, probably that many of you might not know. But the medication that most women take for hypothyroidism was actually never, ever, ever had a clinical trial. It is the one and only medication in the world that never had a clinical trial done on it. Wow. Because it actually came from a hormone. And when it originally came out and they started using it, they didn't have to test hormones. So somehow it got missed and there was never ever any clinical trial on it. So I would say within the last, probably, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago, they actually did the first clinical safety trial on it. So that's craziness right there. But it's a very safe medication because it is a hormone. So there's a little tidbit for everybody. But yeah, so I did that for over 20 years and then came out of that field. I left that field just solely because I wanted to work for myself. So I am a stepmompreneur. I don't have kids of my own, but I did raise an amazing young man who is off on his own now. So help do that. And so I am a stepmompreneur. I get it. I get the struggles. I had different struggles than many do, but so I understand that craziness of being a mompreneur and trying to do everything for yourself, take care of your family. Scheduling was a big thing with our family and things like that. So I get that. But I decided to come out on my own because I just felt that the corporate world was getting a little crazy. And so I set off on my own about, oh gosh, it was 4 years now. And so now I, in turn, help other healthcare professionals. So basically I help a lot of doctors or healthcare professionals that are out on their own, integrate preventative medicine into their practices. So a lot of our personal medical physicians, they treat, right? We come to them, we have an issue, and they treat after the fact. So they're usually providing us a medication, and they don't really have time, nor are they reimbursed for doing preventative medicine. So they're sending us off on our way, or they're sending us to a specialist. And again, that's where that comes into effect, that nobody gets us, because they run a blood test comes back and they show that you're normal, right? Yep. And I think that was one of the questions in the group. You'd get a blood test and it shows that you're normal, that your thyroid levels are normal, when actually they aren't. And a little bit of background about that is that, one, if you are struggling, if you have gone in a lot, you think that something's wrong with your thyroid, you have a history of it, your parents have thyroid disorder, you're struggling to lose weight, you're losing your hair, you have dry skin. I mean, it could go on and on with symptoms, but make sure that you are seeing somebody that understands you. This is where I preach a lot, and I don't like to preach, but I preach a lot. You are the one that knows your body the best, not a doctor that you're seeing for the first time, for the 5th time, for the 20th time. You are who knows your body. And if they aren't listening, you got to find somebody else. Not that you can't go to that doctor for your personal doctor, but you've got to go to somebody who will listen to you, and the thyroid levels won't show. They're very sensitive, very, very sensitive, so they don't always show. And you have to make sure that they're doing an antibody test for you. So a thyroid antibody test for you, that's key. And keep making them tested over the years. So eventually women that have thyroid disorder, they start building up antibodies, and their body starts fighting the medications, fighting our thyroid, things like that. And then they build up antibodies to everything, and then it fights everything that we're trying to do and sends us all backwards. So 80% of women that have hypothyroid in the United States, I'm talking about the United States, so just in case you have people outside of the United States, do eventually develop Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So it's wow. It's a little crazy. So I just jumped into a question way ahead of time, but
no, that's good information. Like 80%. That's
80%. Yep.
That is so high. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it makes sense too, because I'm seeing it more and more and more and more and more, and it's a struggle. And it's yeah. So one of the first questions was about minerals and vitamins. Is there certain, I think here's the question, is there something like minerals or vitamins your body tends to lack that we should be supplementing whenever you have it?
Yes. So that is an absolute yes. Number one, again, I'm talking to most Americans, but honestly, people around the world, for 2 reasons. Americans are very deficient in minerals, trace minerals, vitamins. We're very deficient in it because of the atmosphere that we live in, because of our fast-paced world, because we're not eating healthy enough, because our foods aren't being grown properly. It's making a change, but they see a drastic difference from the United States over to Europe. I mean, just 100%, and it's because of how our food is grown. So when you have hypothyroid or Hashimoto's, again, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disorder. Your body has now built up antibodies and is fighting your thyroid. So it's fighting your body to produce the hormones that it needs to produce to keep yourself healthy. So you absolutely must get extra supplementation in. So whether you live in the United States or not, as you age, you just start lacking. That's just an automatic response. As we age, you start lacking in minerals and supplements, and your body can't do it. So unless you are eating 100% correct, 100%, if you're working out every day, if you have no stress in your life, and let's be real, who has this, right?
I don't know anybody who can say that.
If you're a mom, hello, you wake up with and you start lacking. So
yes,
right. So yeah. So unless you're eating 100% healthy, getting the right workouts in, no stress in your life, getting the correct amount of sleep for your body, getting out into the community, spending time with your friends and family. Unless you're getting that perfect for yourself, you're lacking. You're automatically lacking. So we have to do the best that we can, and minerals and supplements are definite must. So people with thyroid disorder are automatically iodine deficient. People with Hashimoto's, though, when we introduce iodine back into our bodies, and if we do it too fast, we break out into massive hives. We feel horrible. Inflammation increases. So we have to do it very, very subtly, very slow. People with Hashimoto's are very much lacking in vitamin D. So it starts affecting their bones. Vitamin C, magnesium, and B12. Those are usually the most deficient for people with Hashimoto's.
Oh, so good. So you said it's thyroid, you need iodine, but if you have Hashimoto's and you do too much iodine too fast, you get the negative. Like you start feeling bad, you start feeling like crap.
Yep.
So
your body will start attacking. It can't, things that you introduce to your body, even medications. People with Hashimoto's usually are all over the place. They're prescribed a certain amount of thyroid medicine, and 6 months later, they're like, it's either too low, it's too high, their levels went out of whack, they're feeling all crazy, they get menstrual disturbances. So you consistently have to change it because your body's fighting it. It's fighting against anything that we pull into our bodies when it comes to minerals, vitamins, supplements, medications, anything like that.
Got you. Oh, wow,
that beautiful autoimmune response that we get.
So you can't really just do one thing forever. Like you kind of have to be constantly changing. Is that kind of what you're saying?
You might be able to. You might be one that's very lucky and blessed and you can. It's unlikely because what the thyroid does for our body is it regulates all of our hormones.
Yeah.
And we have so many different hormones in our body. So it might attack this hormone down here. It might attack progesterone one day, and it might attack estrogen one day, and it might attack cortisol differently one day. And so it's got us all over the place, but all these hormones are needed in balance to keep us healthy and alive and menstruating and or when you're postmenopausal, keep everything regulated that way. So it just all depends on each person.
Wow, that's awesome. It's just awesome new information. If y'all are watching this, I've got my own notepad. I'm making my notes too because I'm learning so much. So here was
it's a journey. It's a journey. I stress that more than anything. I would love a package that say, okay, we're in a group that we have Hashimoto's. So this is a one size fits all. Here's what you have to do. Here's what we have to take. Here's how we have to exercise. You need to lift more weights. You need to run more. It's not. Because of our family histories, because of our DNA, we are all different. It's trial and error, and it's ever changing. Yeah. That's what you have to prepare yourself for. So it's a lot of mindset work, which I know you are so amazing at, Angela. So it's a lot of mindset work to prepare yourself for an ever no ending journey, ever changing journey. And to embrace that and to say, today might be a great day, but a week from now may not. And I need to know how to embrace that, bear with it, tell my community about it, tell my family about it, tell my doctor about it, whatever it might be, tell your support team about it and say, I'm not having a good day, but I'm going to get through this. It'll happen. So, and certain, things that you can do to change that and roll with it.
Gosh, That's powerful. Yeah. Yeah. Because it is a journey. And I know a lot of women that do get the frustrations daily, because it does.
Oh,
It is daily. So the mindset, I'm glad you hit that on that, because that you have to be strong here to be able to go through a journey like that of an never ending, sometimes up and down all over the place. Or maybe you're working, like one of the things that I see so many women that they're working their tail off. They're working so hard. They're eating so clean and not seeing any change. Or maybe if they do, it's a tiny change, and then they go back up, or whatever the case may be. So mindset, oh my gosh, so powerful that you said that. One of the next questions is there anything specific that in your mind that they should avoid to either the symptoms, to avoid the symptoms, I guess, so to speak? Any specific things they should just stay away from altogether?
Yeah, you're not going to like this one, but it's stress. It's stress. Because stress is such a huge response on our hormones. Not that I'm not saying, wake up and don't be stressed. That's not realistic, right? What I'm saying is you have to have a tool in your toolbox to start releasing that stress, whether it is working out, which I'm going to be honest, it's kind of a must. And again, I'm not saying you've got to work out for an hour. You have to lift, 400 pounds every day. You have to find the workout that fits your lifestyle. You have to find the workout that is good for your body. Like everybody was telling me that I'm aging, you've got to lift weights, you've got to do this, you've got to do more. And I'm like, okay, do yoga for stress. Okay, I'm doing it. Well, I'm such a competitive personality that when I'm doing yoga, I'm stretching as far as I can go. And then for a week, I'm down and out. I'm done. It's my body cannot handle that. My body can't handle lifting huge amount of weights. It says no. And then I'm toast for a week. So hey, I'm doing it. Well, I'm such a competitive.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Hey, you're hearing yourself replaying over here.
So there's, and this is where I come to you. Like, this is where I turn to you, because I'm not a fitness guru. That is not in my toolbox whatsoever. I turn to you. I turn to another friend and say, I need help with like tools to give my tribe to find I call it their soul workout, to find their soul workout, to find the thing that will help them de-stress. Mine personally, I do Pilates, I do walking, and I do weights, but I do low weights. So things to get my muscles stretched more and things like that. That's me personally. Somebody else, that's not going to work for them. They're going to be like, Pilates? Are you kidding me? I'm not doing that crap. Walking's not good enough for me. I need more. So, but you have to find what fits you. So releasing that stress, it is unfortunately, that's what you need to stay away from to stop those hormone responses.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. So it's almost, yes, most, not every woman's on a weight loss journey, but most of them are if they have Hashimoto's and working out for a different purpose. Like, I feel like a part of the mindset could be working out for the stress relief, not the weight loss. I mean, the weight loss will come, but it's more so important for the mental state. And would you also say there is such thing of working out too hard, not resting enough, can do the opposite of what we really want them to do? Because I see a lot of people
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because, like I said, I'm such a competitive personality. Doing yoga, which I was told to do for stress, and pushing my body just that too far, you're going to shoot cortisol responses up. So if you're working out for hours in a day and then, and I hear this all the time, I'm sure you do. I've worked out for an hour. I work out all the time and I'm not losing weight. You're doing the reverse to your body. So absolutely, you can do too much.
We're trying to go too hardcore all the time and not doing a little bit of yoga combined with maybe a little bit of, that's good.
Right. Or too fast. Again, we have an autoimmune disorder. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disorder. When we introduce things too much, too fast, our bodies go, whoa, no, absolutely not. I cannot handle this. So we need to do things, and this is no excuse that you shouldn't do it. This is an excuse that you need to tone it down and introduce it a little at a time and build up.
What about the bigger, I think that one of the biggest questions that I was getting is about the nutritional side. Is there such a thing as the best way to eat with Hashimoto's to lose weight? Is there truth behind gluten-free being the best way? Because we all hear so many things out there. Is there such thing as a diet, so to speak, that's the best for Hashimoto's?
So again, unfortunately, there is no good answer. There's plenty of studies that have been done on this, and I'm a researcher. You know me, I'll go back and research everything to the nth degree. That's my past. That's who I am. So I research anything. I make sure that there's some type of trial or clinical trials, peer-reviewed research on it. And unfortunately, there is no good answer. The longest studied thing that we have for Hashimoto's or thyroid, hypothyroid, is the Mediterranean diet. It is the most studied, the most healthy. However, that being said, there's also studies out there that show that going gluten-free, taking gluten out of your diet. There are studies out there that showing that genetically modified products are the trigger. There's studies out there that show keto will work, low carb, high protein. So there's 1,000 different studies. They do say that there's most of the research, like I said, is gluten-free, nightshades, taking nightshades out of your diet because they cause an inflammatory response. But for me, that didn't work at all. Like all these things that people are saying, I did realize I was, I don't have celiac disease, but glutens are a trigger for me for sure. What I always recommend to my clients that have thyroid disease is they do a 21-day elimination diet. So you take out the 7 biggest trigger things like glutens, sugars, I'm trying to think of everything, peanuts, eggs. So you take these things out of your diet just for 21 days. And I know that sounds like a really long time. You're like, oh my God, I can't even do it for 2. But if you are really serious about losing that weight, and if you are committed to losing your weight, 21 days isn't that long. So taking this out of your diet, even do it for a week, you're going to notice some type of change because you've pulled something out that's probably a trigger. Then you slowly add it back in one at a time. So you slowly add the gluten back in. How are you reacting? Take it away. If you feel you're reacting. For me, it's major headaches, and I get really, my joints get really stiff and sore. Soy was my biggest trigger. Soy works on women's hormones insanely. I mean, there was such a push in the 90s, right? Soy, tofu, edamame, all that big push. It ruined women's hormones, just ruined them. So we were eating, drinking soy lattes. We were putting all this, healthy food into our body, and it killed us. It killed us. It affected fertility. It affected everything. So that was, I found out I had a massive response to soy. But eggs, peanuts, I was totally fine. So, so doing that for 21 days and figuring out what your triggers actually are, I think it's huge for somebody that has Hashimoto's, and they figure out what they can and cannot eat to lose weight. Yeah. The second I take out soy, the second I take out gluten, that weight comes flying off. But I want to love life too. So sometimes I don't follow that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want to be restricted forever. But
right.
Awesome. So soy and gluten seem to be a big one, at least for you anyway. But that's finding out what works for you.
Exactly. There is no one size fits all. There just isn't.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the other questions was, can you really ever make it go away? Is this something you're stuck with for life?
It is. It is. This is a medical condition. And once you have those antibodies, you might be able to lessen it. Yeah. So think of somebody with type 2 diabetes. they have type 2 diabetes, but they can control, for the majority, most people can control their type 2 diabetes with working out and food. So not that they can shove all their medications away, but they can lessen the amount of medication that they're taking. Right? Same thing with Hashimoto's. You're never going to probably be able to take that medication away. You're never, ever going to be able to take the antibodies away, but you're going to be able to lessen it and control it. Don't let this control you. That was my biggest breakthrough. Every time it let it control me, and I was listening to the doctors, oh, you're depressed, so you need to take this. Oh, your thyroid's out of whack, make sure we take more of this. And it wasn't working. And I actually went on a journey where my thyroid medication, I was taking this dose one week, this dose another week, back down to a different dose another week, and every 6 weeks had to get my blood drawn. It's just what your body decides to do. So I was all over the place with my medication. And then there was a point in life, I didn't take medication at all after that. So whatever I was doing or wherever my hormones were, they were just in balance. So not that I didn't have Hashimoto's, but I was just in balance at that point. Now it's, age and everything else, it's turning again, unfortunately, but that is what it is. It's a journey.
Yes, it is a journey. The hormones, I always call them the devil because they really are just so horrible.
They really, it's women's blessing, and in the same aspect, it's women's curse.
Oh, seriously, it really is. I had one woman asking about her hair, because that being a symptom, losing your hair, can it come back? Can it come back?
Okay.
She used to have thick hair, but now she said it's thin and dry. Is that something?
Okay? So it can, and that usually is a stress and hormone response. I get what you call, I call them the Hashi arches. So I don't know if you can see, I'm going to show like a little close up here. See all these little fun littles, I call them baby hairs. So this used to be all bald, and it's slowly growing back. There again, right here, you see all my hair thin. I used to have a ponytail holder, and I could just wrap it in my hair. I mean, I had thick hair, and now I have to wrap it 3 times. But it does, you can, for the most part, most women can have it come back. I use, which I know you're a fan of as well, I use liquid collagen. When I started taking the liquid collagen and building up the collagen back in my body, my hair started coming back. My eyebrows started coming back, but never really filled back in all the way. But they did start coming back. I put my mom, who is 78 years old. Are you there?
Oops, I can hear you. There
okay.
You go.
There. Okay. My battery is going low. So, put my mom, who's 78, on collagen as well. Her eyebrows are growing back and her hair grew back in. So multiple people that we have that are taking some of these supplements, they are getting a great response from it. You have to stick with it. Consistency is key. You have to stop that Hashi cycle. And I was telling Angela this a little bit earlier of just my personal journey. I was gaining weight every year. It was just coming on. I hit 40 and it just kept coming on. And I didn't believe the people that were telling me that, I'm not believing that just because I hit a certain age, I'm not going to gain weight. But in my Hashi journey, I realized taking certain supplements have actually stopped the weight gain cycle. So not that I'm losing a ton, I have lost. It has come off slowly, but I finally stopped that cycle of gain. And that was huge for me. Like, I'm not the perfect weight that I would like to be, but stopping that cycle of gaining every single year was huge for me, and just a big relief off my shoulders. I would have been, so overweight and caused so many other health conditions that I was so grateful to stop that cycle.
And what you said, you take the liquid collagen, the BioCell, but what else do you take?
I take the trim. So I take the liquid gold, and then I take just one metabolism capsule. I introduced all 3 and my body went,
Like, hello?
Did not like it at all. So I actually backed down, and I had to get that balance. And a lot of people that come to me that are on these products as well said, you know, I'm doing all 3, I'm trying all this stuff and it's not working. So I actually take them back, tell them to use the liquid gold for 3 days just by itself, add in 1 burn supplement, 1 metabolism booster for 1 week, see how they do. And every single person, not one person has not come back to me and said it worked. And again, we overloaded our system. Our systems can't handle that. We got to go really slow. Then I add in 2. And if that still seems to be working, great. And you can add in the 3rd. Usually most people are either at 1 or 2. The 3rd is just too much for their body.
Gotcha. Oh, that's really interesting. I love that you stopped the cycle, because whoops, I lost your video again.
I know. Our friend Julie just called me. I'm like, really? She knows that I'm doing this.
Like, stop. She can probably watch us. Okay, so that's good to know. So I love that you mentioned the collagen about the hair, because I hear that a lot. I'm hearing that a lot more too. And I'm like, I know that's just not, I mean, it starts affecting us women as confidence and all the things too. Like, really,
right.
You know, the hair thing for sure. And I know I take the same one, and I've never had like problems with my hair falling out, but it is thicker and I can't keep up with it. It's crazy.
Then you get all this back again. So
and I told you whenever you first popped out, like, your hair is gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you.
So the last question, which I think you already answered, was, can diet alone correct this? And I think you already kind of answered this with, you need some supplementation because your body is deprived of a lot of nutrients, even just nutrients that you mentioned.
So diet alone can't do it. You definitely need a program, a plan, and be flexible with that plan, that at some point you might need to change that.
Yeah, and baby steps,
baby step.
Can't do it all at once. Slow
down. This is a test of patience for sure. So, you know, and I want this right now. Unfortunately, us with Hashis don't get it right now.
Even so extreme. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, good info. So where can someone find you? Because I know you do coaching as well on this very thing. So if anybody wanted to reach out to you for more questions or even help, where can someone go to find you, Miss Melissa?
Yeah, so I make it really, really easy. I am on Facebook.
Yeah.
I am on Facebook. I have a group myself, and we do things in the group. And then, but on Facebook is where I do my stuff. You can find me right in Messenger. You can message me. And then I kind of do the same thing you do. Like, I do a quick phone call with people. I just try and make it as simple as possible. So any other social media that I'm on, I am just starting my YouTube channel, so that will be coming up soon. Yay!
You have so much knowledge to share on your YouTube. Like, every little bitty topic can be one video. Like, I swear you would get so much. You have so much value to give to so many people.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. Like I said, it's a journey, and it's hard, but you got to roll with it. You just have to roll with it.
Yeah, and I think the most powerful thing that I'm hearing, or that I see, then I hope everybody else, most people will probably watch this on a replay, either in our group or catch it on YouTube or on our podcast. I'll share all that whenever it's all officially uploaded for everyone. You can watch forever if you want to, but I feel like the biggest thing behind everything that you've said is, I hope everyone that's listening to this either now or later can realize, like, you're not alone. She said 80% of women in the US, 80%, did I get that right?
80% that have hypothyroidism.
Hypothyroidism. Yes. And so, I mean, there's no wonder I'm hearing about it so much more and more and more. That's a huge number. So you're not alone, and please don't give up on yourself is the biggest thing I have to say. Don't give up on yourself. It's a journey. You're worth it. There's ways around it. You just have to be extra patient, more patient than the next person beside you that may be getting faster results because they don't suffer from what you're suffering from. But just know that it takes time. So I think that's the biggest power. Do you have anything else that you would like to say, or tip or advice or anything before we hop off?
Please know that you aren't, like, Angela said, you're not alone. There's a huge, massive community of women that have Hashimoto's that are struggling with their weight. I think that's kind of the biggest complaint I always hear. You're not alone. And this is, you can figure this out. You've got to give yourself the time. If you're expecting a quick thing, it's not going to happen. So as soon as mindset is everything, the second you change your mindset and get wrapped around your journey, your personal journey with Hashimoto's, not somebody else that has Hashimoto's, I think that's going to be your biggest breakthrough. And know that people are like Angela are here for you. She's been such a huge support, even for myself. I love watching her. I love listening to her motivation, like videos that we have. Oh my God. I listen to them all the time. I just love them. And then I'm like, okay, here I go. I'm going to go.
I got this.
So find your community of people, of supporters. You must have some support. And not all families understand this. They just don't get it because they can't see it. Yeah. So find another community, find somebody out there to support you. There are plenty of people out there. I'll give Angela my group link if you'd like to join and just get those supporters behind you. There's tons of women in there that have that. So we would love to have you with us and join us and stick with Angela. That's one of my biggest takeaways. Make sure you stick with this girl. She's got some amazingness in her. So
yes, you know what, and so do you, Melissa. And I feel like it's the mission that we're all on is it's a power of locking arms to help women together. You know I can't do all of my own and vice versa. And it's just, I thank you so much for your time today, because I know.
Oh, I thank you so much. So honored, Angela. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So you guys have an amazing day. Any more questions, reach out. If you're in the Facebook group now, watching this now or later, Melissa is tagged in here, so you can also find her there as well too, just FYI. So you guys have an amazing day. Bye.
Bye. Thanks again.